We got Jose Shorty Torres back here on the program, who's the newest member of the UFC roster. This has been a long time coming, and he's going to be taking on Jared Brooks on short notice next week at UFC Utica. Jose, how are you, man? I imagine pretty damn good.
I'm fantastic. I found out the news yesterday. Actually, people found out before I did. I don't know. They're making all these social media posts, and I was like, did I get signed to the UFC? I haven't signed any paperwork, and then I get a call from my manager, and it's like, oh, awesome, cool. I'm in the UFC. This is great. And it's still settling in. It's one of those things that I've worked so hard for, and I'm just happy that, given all the random Facebook friend requests, which is always weird, but all these people, I've had so much support with all these people posting on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and just it's overwhelming, literally overwhelming, and it's an awesome feeling.
Yeah, and where were you when you found out this news? Like you said, you saw it on social media. Are you on your phone? You on your computer? Where did you see this?
Yeah, I'm always working my social media on my phone, so I'm always looking down all day, every day, and I just finished practice, finished sparring, and I came upstairs of the idea of fighting Jared Brooks, and then it just came to fruition. I was like, huh, people are sending me texts like, is it true? I was like, is what true? Then they'll send me the picture, the screenshot by MMA Junkie or Ariel Helwani saying that I got signed, and I'm like, am I signed to the UFC? And then I get the call from Lex McMahon, my manager, saying, dude, welcome to the UFC. This is awesome. So it was back and forth, all that stuff. So I'm just happy that everything's finally settled in.
So who's the first person you told on your end once you found out? Because you said people were telling you, but who's the first phone call, email, text that you're like, hey, I'm in the UFC?
Oh man, I don't even know. I had so many people again overwhelming me that I forgot to text people back. I, got to tell my fiance and my family later on the day, but I did give them personal phone calls, let them know the fantastic news. But it's crazy because I was getting ready to possibly fight for the 145-pound title fight for Titan FC.
Oh
So I was,
wow, you're going for another title? Crazy.
I was like, you know what, man? UFC doesn't want me. All these other promotions don't want me. Let me just figure something out. So I go, well, I'm not going to take another fight. I don't want to fight, in a sense, a bum, just like a no-name, So I go, let me figure it out. Let me fight Jay Suarez, 11-0, UFC veteran, Titan FC, featherweight champ. I think it's an amazing fight stylistically. Sadly, he turned down the fight, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm really heavy for no apparent reason now. And then Jared Brooks, his opponent Hector Sandoval got injured, which so be it. Hopefully he recovers well. And I was like, oh, so am I getting the fight? And McMahon calls and goes, hey, you're the only flyweight we want. We're not trying to sign any of the flyweight. So it's either you take the fight or we're scratching, Jared Brooks' fight. We're not going to call anybody else. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I don't care. I mean, it's 9-day notice, and it's a little later than what I'd like, just because of how heavy I was. But so be it. I'm ready to take the shot. This is my opportunity.
So what's going through your head when Mick Maynard's telling you you're the only flyweight we want to sign? When, for months it seemed like you were getting the cold shoulder. Like, are you kind of in your head kind of like, where were you 3 months ago? I was worried about this.
It's one of those things where it's like, oh, so I'm the only flyweight, but I haven't received any calls, So it's just one of those things that I'm happy that I'm so, I have all these credentials behind me that UFC, they're not interested in flyweights right now because of the whole problems with the division. So me being the only interest is like, all right, cool. This is awesome. But I have been called 8 times, and I don't want to have that time where I just keep denying because of injury or because of weight or whatever the case may be. So I'm happy that I finally was able to say yes. And, I turned to my team and go, is this something we think we can do last minute? And they go, yeah, we're completely confident. It's just we're right behind you. You just got to stay mentally strong and get it done.
So you find out you're fighting Jared Brooks, which is interesting because there was a little bit of stuff going on social media. I know last year. I wanted to get your perspective. I talked to Jared. I know you saw the interview. What's sort of your take on how this started and where we are at now with this fight actually happening?
I can't remember how it started. I know we didn't have like a little Twitter feud. I did call him out, and we're going back and forth, and it was weird because he was arguing more of like a teenager, swearing, doing this, saying that. And I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't know how to respond to random stuff that has nothing to do with fighting. Okay, cool. He beat Eric Shelton, and then he ended up losing in Brazil, which I honestly thought he won, so be it. It's a Brazil home crowd. But it's one of those things that I'm like, man, if he's in the UFC, I don't see why I can't do it either. I don't see why, he was, I believe, 12 or 13-0 before he lost. He's just a wrestler, and I think the last finish he had was at strawweight. So it's one of those things that for me, I think stylistically it's a fantastic fight. I think he's a good wrestler, state champion, Indiana. I was a college All-American in wrestling, and I have my accolades in that as well. So I know I can definitely compete with him and just keep on going back and forth. But it's one of those things that it just kept on being feuded, podcasts, interviews, all that stuff. And I was just like, oh, I'm just going to disregard this guy. This fight's not happening. McMahon doesn't care. So be it. And I get the call. And I'm like, yeah. Crazy thing was, from what I hear, this is all rumors. I'm just a man taking fights, and not the messenger or anything. But from what I hear, he took the fight and then backed out.
Oh, really? Oh,
And
wow.
I don't know if you saw the Mike Heck's Twitter,
I did.
but
Yeah, I was paying attention. So
it was official, and he was like, "It's not official yet. We talked to Jared Brooks' camp, but it's not." So for me, I'm finding out stuff on Twitter. I was like, "It's not official. You just told me I'm getting signed. I'm waiting for my contract." And they're like, "He's not taking the fight." So when he's saying he got threatened, I'm pretty sure he got threatened pretty well from the UFC because the fight's happening. So again, this is all rumors. I'm just speculating here, but for me, it's a bad matchup for him. He's done fair against stand-up fighters, but they can't wrestle. That are not known to be wrestlers. What if you face a guy who knows how to wrestle and throw hands? And that's myself. I'm excited to see how that turns out.
you've trained at so many camps. I mean, I remember doing our first interview that we did. We were talking about this off air back in November of 2015, and you've been everywhere. Now you're at American Top Team. What have you sort of taken away from American Top Team that you haven't got maybe at other camps or whatever? Like, what have you? What's like one extra tool you've picked up, training there?
I feel like you're traveling the world with me.
Yeah.
For me here at American Top Team, the camaraderie is just it's amazing. I'm friends with so many guys in my weight class that I might fight one day, but we're all literally helping each other 100% to get to that point of are we going to fight in the UFC? Hey, at least we got this far. Whoever wins gets the win bonus. You're buying the drinks after. So it's the camaraderie here is so amazing, and plus the way the system works out, everything is in house. I don't have to travel to a Brazilian jiu-jitsu school or go somewhere for boxing or go somewhere for this. Everything's in house. Everything's the same price, so it saves us so much money as fighters, and people know that we rely on sponsors, rely on everyone just trying to help us out. So American Top Team does that so much, and I'm here at the dorms just trying to help until I found out I got to fight. Now I'm training, and people are helping me.
That's great. You referenced your manager. Lex McMahon is managing you now, I take it?
So Lex McMahon is officially my manager, and the reason why I decided to go with Lex compared to all these other managers, which I believe are great companies, I've known Lex for 2 years. He found me literally in the pearl of the desert, the kingdom.
It's true. It's literally true. Yeah.
It sounds like a fairy tale. Like he found me in Bahrain, training with Khabib, and for people who don't know who Khabib is, 155-pound
Well,
world champion.
they're probably not watching this interview. They don't know who Habib is, but yeah.
So, and I'm training with him, and people were like, "Who the hell is this kid?" And I trained with Alex Soto, did well, and all these people were like, "Who the hell is this kid?" Lex McMahon's like, "I'm gonna give him a contract." Had to pretty much negotiate with Jeff Aronson, one of the CEO or the owner of Titan FC, and he convinced him to sign me. And, well, 2 years later, I ended up being the double weight class champion, the poster boy of Titan. And I go, "Hey man, you've helped me out. You've never steered me wrong. You've never put me in a position where I've had to second guess a lot of things. It's worked out. And he's been very patient with me, and I think it's a great partnership."
So, are you going to continue to do your camps down there? Because I know you're a bit of a nomad in that sense of going to different camps and kind of just whatever feels right. But is this just, you mentioned you're in the dorm, so I'm guessing just for camps you'll be there, or maybe go somewhere else. But home is always going to be Chicago, right?
Yeah, home is always going to be Chicago, but I can tell you this: I came here just for a camp. Just for one. TJ Dillashaw had his baby. He wasn't in the gym, and when he's gone, everyone disperses.
Right.
So I'm like,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
guys. And so I left, came here, and I was again going to do it for one camp, head out, and I go, this place is actually really, really nice. And then just enjoying everything that comes with the gym, the friends, the people. They even have a juice bar, which I'm never going to complain about. Trish is definitely going to complain about it, but I never complain about it. And I ended up, falling in love with the gym. It's a fantastic place. I am going to travel to different places to help other teammates of mine, former or current teammates, and we'll see where the world takes me. But right now, ATT and Combat Dough are my two gyms.
That's excellent. We talked a bit about the weight cut there. I imagine you're working with nutrition to help you get down to 25.
Yeah, actually, immediately he was the first person I called about the fight offer. Because I was so heavy, I go, I initially denied the fight. I go, it's 9-day notice. I'm just not a fan of these last minute weight cuts. I had a hard time in college with it. I'm just not going to do it. And Lou's like, I'm 100% confident in this. He goes, I got pedestaled down in so many days with so much weight to fight Oliveira, and he fought and won. I don't see why you can't do the same, and we have double the time. I go, man. I was like, all right, well, if you believe in it, then so be it. And actually, I'm flying out immediately tomorrow night to go stay in Jersey with him for, I believe, 4 days, and then we both drive up to Utica, New York, and just get the weight down and just be ready.
Interesting. Okay. So, is this, you don't have to give me any numbers or anything like that, but is the weight okay? Is this going to be one of the toughest of your career to make weight?
It's probably the heaviest of me going down, but I mean, my weight came down super fast yesterday, given I'm the fattest I've ever been, because I was getting ready for a 45-pound title fight. But overall, I mean, so be it. It's part of the sport. Last minute fights happen. Sadly, it happens for me all the time when it comes to the UFC trying to call me up. But it's one of those things that I just couldn't deny it. I had to take the opportunity. Jared Brooks is a person I've been wanting to fight, really wanted to showcase my skills against, and really prove a point that I deserve to be there in whatever weight. Again, Conan's been the coach here at American Top Team's been telling me, he goes, if your goal is bigger than your sacrifice, then the sacrifice is gonna be fun. So for me, I'm just doing whatever sacrifices I need to do, send the sauna, hot tub, whatever the case may be, and just get ready for the big goal and a really fun time on Friday.
You mentioned you were trying to fight at featherweight in that matchup. How many weeks were you preparing to get yourself built up? What was sort of I guess what I'm asking is what was the time frame that you were trying to use to get up to 45? Like how long have you been trying to put on weight?
I was trying to put on weight for pretty much about a month and a half.
Oh wow, okay.
I gained a decent amount of muscle, which right now is pretty much what I'm going to be losing because of it. But I put on a decent amount of muscle to get ready for this featherweight fight, just to make sure that I'm not overpowered. I was going to face pretty much a bigger Jared Brooks, a guy who just wants to grapple, take you down, wrestle, and just ground and pound. So I was getting ready for that, but again, things changed. I gained a decent amount of weight. I was like, man, I have a six pack at this weight. All right, cool. I'm doing something right. But I just have some fat on me. So when I started working out, when I got the notice, the weight's just coming right off. So I'm not worried about it whatsoever. And for me, nutrition, if I don't have him by my side, then there's a struggle. But because I have him, everything's going to work great.
Yeah, lose the man. Definitely good that you're working with him. Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
Man, people love me. They're just texting.
I know. You're popular, man.
Sorry about that. But so far, because it is a last minute fight, I'm not flying out my usual crew. Plus, it's different. I'm used to fighting. My last 5 fights were championship fights. I usually get 4. Now I'm at 3. And people love me. But now I'm going to have my usual coach, Master Bob Shermer. I'm going to have Dean Thomas, since he'll already be there with Jessica Aguilar, excuse me. And after that, I believe I'm going to have nutrition. He's been literally not just my health coach, but my mental coach as well. He's the guy that literally mentally prepares me for my fights.
How do you see this fight playing out on June 1st?
I see him really just running around a lot, putting his back to the cage and just trying to go for the takedowns. I don't see anything else. Yeah, he might throw a couple punches, but I'm so forward. Me, I like to take shots, all that stuff. He's a natural strawweight. I'm not worried about his power. I'm not worried about his stand-up. I'm definitely going to take a couple shots to get some shots in, and I know once I land, he's going to run away. All my fights at flyweight have been by knockout, either in the first or second round. So I'm not worried about this fight whatsoever. He is a person that gasses out very, very fast, very frequently, mainly against guys who know how to push the pace. Well, Eric Shelton and the Brazilian, they did a decent job, but they didn't push forward like the way I do. And me, me, I don't stop punching. I don't stop coming forward. And I know how to wrestle too. So even if he does take me down, can he hold me down and can he keep that pace? So I'm excited for it. I just, if I had to call it, I'm going to go with second round TKO. He's going to gas out, and I'm going to be able to knock him out. I just don't see it any other way.
Before we go, one name I got to mention before we leave here, who would have loved to have seen the news yesterday, is Brian Levick. I know we've talked about it before. Brian, I know, is someone that you think very highly of. I think very highly of as well. Unfortunately, he left us, last year. He was the PR man for Titan FC. How much did you think of him when that signing came around, and just thinking of all the work he did, early on? I still remember the text message he sent me when he's like, "You're going to love interviewing this guy. He's the next big thing." And here we are, in the UFC now. How much are you thinking of Brian right now?
Hey, man, it's crazy how time passes so fast. It's being signed to the UFC was a big deal, but I'm like, all right, cool, just another fight for me. I've fought in big arenas before, no problem. I fought at world championships multiple times, but I get all these tweets and I'm trying to like every single one, trying to show my support back to people supporting me, and I see one that says, "Man, I really wish Brian Levick was here to witness this," and I'm just like, oh yeah, I started to tear up and I actually cried a little bit because it's like, man, he's the one that got my name out there. If it wasn't for him, like, yeah, Titan SC's done a phenomenal job, but if it wasn't for him in the background behind the scenes, giving me all these interviews, putting my posters out there, putting my name out there, I wouldn't be known the way I am today. So, it's I definitely wish he was here. He introduced me to so many people, yourself, nutrition, and all my gyms that I've been at. So, I'm happy to have finally made it at this moment, and I'm just, hoping that he's looking down and enjoying it too.
This is going to be an awesome fight. UFC Fight Night 131 from Utica next week, June 1st. Jose, again, congratulations. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, cool. My sponsors know who they are. I had so many. I definitely don't want to take up too much of your time. I've dealt with the video there. But for me, I just want to say I appreciate everyone's support. It's been a long time coming, but I wouldn't be here without anyone's support. So I appreciate it. That's why I always say we can, we will. Together we are Team Shorty, and we're gonna put on a show June 1st. But if people want to follow me, Instagram Jose Shorty Torres, Twitter Shorty Torres 125, and Facebook Jose Shorty Torres with quotations around it. If people want to support 20% of all the earnings from my gym, or excuse me, 20% of all the earnings from the shirt sales and all that goes to the kids in my gym so they can travel, train. So teamshorty.com. I really appreciate it. And again, thanks so much, guys. I can't wait.